Привет everyone, we got another Topgun Chen. So these are 3D printed models. We're going to do the IL-2 today. But yeah, the guy designs, or he or she, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, designs all sorts of different airplanes, and you can see quite busy every year. And I think some of them, the commercial ones, have become licensed mass manufactured things. I've seen by Panda Model. So maybe one day. They're just so big, that's why I don't want to collect those. But alright, so today the Ilyushin IL-2 is a ground attack airplane from World War II. It was produced between 1941 and 1945, and over 36,000 of them were made, making it the most mass-produced military aircraft in history. Alright, and it even flew up until 1954 in the Bulgarian and Yugoslavian air forces. It had a length of 11.6 meters, a wingspan of like almost 15. It was powered by a V12 engine, making 1,720 horsepower, and it could fly 410 kilometers an hour or 250 miles per hour, and it had a range of only 765 kilometers or 475 miles. But this was World War II, so I guess that's pretty far. It's called the flying tank very often because it had this armored shell that weighed 700 kilos, and it protected the crew, well, the pilot, the engine, the radiators, and the fuel tank. But because of that extra weight, it had to carry relatively light bomb loads, and it wasn't very accurate whether it was trying to bomb things or fight other airplanes. It was simply outclassed by like the Bf-109 and the FW-150 by the Germans. But still, they made a lot of them, and here we have a representation in cartoon shape. Let's, well, I guess just look at it from the side here. Oh, you know what? I'll take some dimensions. It's so fun. It's so small. It's so cute. Oh boy, wingspan-wise, I would say it's roughly around 12 centimeters or 4 3/4. Lengthwise, it's been shortened quite a bit, of course. It's around 9.5 centimeters or 4 inches or a little under that. Okay. So, I really like the deformation of this one. The cockpit is so high, right, compared to that photograph. And it's got a nice paint job. It's like a green and brown camo pattern, but the bottom is this darker sky blue color, and all the bombs are already on it. Maybe they're glued in place. Interesting. Guess we'll just start with the bottom then. So you can see all these panel gaps and stuff are nicely thin, and there's a little bit of a paint wash or something in them that's like gray or something in there. This rear wheel here has got a gray frame, and the tire is painted black. I do think it might even spin, or it's glued in place. There's a 3mm peg hole for a stand. You actually do get a stand with these things. You can get these off eBay, by the way. I'll leave a link. But this one's actually, well, I think this peg might be small. Anyways, I don't really use those. I 3D print my own. Okay, so yeah, you have black bombs here. And these are some big ones, of course, with some yellow tips on them. And then we have the little bomblets over here, just all black. We have this Russian red star, and then some white on the inside with 2 magnets to hold the landing gear in place. Oh, this thing actually may have shifted out. I think the glue, yeah, that's supposed to be recessed, so let me come back. Well, I was trying to just wiggle it to break the glue. I don't know what happened here. I don't want to break it, you know. It might be made of rigid plastic. I think you just gotta, yeah, carefully do that. So I want to show that in case this happens if you buy this yourself. But yeah, I can just glue this back in here. You might have to clean up the recess though, or clean this glue off. It almost looks like it's school glue. So I don't know if this is made of one piece. I think it might be 2 pieces of plastic because the color separation of the bomb is so good. I think it might be a separate piece. Yeah, there's a lot of residual shiny glue there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick away at this. Hold on. Alright, I'm just using some school glue. It's drying as we speak. Hopefully it won't fall out. Anyways, so the rest of this thing is looking very nice. It's a matte finish sky blue. Some sort of intakes here and exhaust. I don't know what that would be. Please leave a comment. I see it on the front photograph, but no idea. Maybe it's a heater for the cockpit. Anyways, some panels here. There's an intake here as well. These bulges for the landing gear, I guess, seem okay. And then there's holes here. The gun, I mean, this plane has 2 machine guns, 2 cannons, and then a rear gun as well. I don't, excuse me, I don't see any barrels in here, so I guess you could add some round tubes and add your own guns. Maybe I'll do that later. Anyways, this propeller does spin, but not freely. It's well painted though, the separation. I assume the propellers are a different piece from the red cone. And then there's some silver here on the tip with an inlet as well. Okay, so there's a deep intake here. I don't know again where that goes, the engine or the cockpit. And then there's some gunmetal color on the exhaust tips here. All right. Some intakes here to the side of the engine. Very cool. All right. And then the decals are nicely done. I suspect they might be under a clear coat. And it's matte finished, the whole thing. I don't know what that reads in Russian. Please leave a comment if you know. The panel gaps up here are really nice, and faint panel liner in them. You know, some sort of dark gray color in them, but it's not outside the gaps, which is really cool. The rear stabilizer looks good with its decal, and the ridges here. Here looks alright. We got some stars on the wing tops here. And then what would this be for? Sighting, perhaps? Maybe to help the pilot sight something? I'm not sure. What else? What else before we get to the cockpit area? I don't think there's anything else. So yeah, now looking through this, a little bit cloudy. I think these are 3D printed windows. They're pretty clear for that technology. There's literally a machine gun back here with a belt feed of bullets. Really cool. The bullet tips are actually painted gold. Very nice. They're supposed to be brass, I assume. I wonder if this thing comes off. It probably should. Okay. So what makes this good is the glass is separate from the frame. I wish normal model companies did this. I don't know why they don't. So I've been making a lot of airplanes, and I'm quickly reminded as to why I stopped making them when I was younger. As painting the cockpits is a real pain. Anyways, this is nicely done, of course, because you have the 2 separate pieces. This little antenna is very thin. Very cool. Alright, so the little cockpit thing here has a seatbelt decal, and then the gauges here on the left side. Only on the left side. Interesting. And then a lot of gauges there. Very cool. 2 magnets holding that cockpit in the front. The cover, that is. And look at that flight stick. It's almost like a yoke. Interesting. It's like a horseshoe-shaped thing painted black. So the rear gunner here. A little seat there. You can see the 3D printing steps there. And it's got a sliding rail, yeah, for that machine gun to shift left and right. I wonder how many foolish machine gunners shot this tail, or was there some sort of lock that kept that from happening? Anyways, there's some tabs here. Maybe they're locators for, yeah, you got these little pins sticking out here. And then actually I see these round magnets on the side as well. But I don't see them here. Oh wait, they're on the seat, or this divider, this wall. So there's 2 magnets here and 1 on each side there. Oh, look at this. I thought it oh, it does pivot. I didn't expect that. That's pretty neat. Be interesting. No. That would be crazier if it slid back left and right, but there's only so much you can do with something this small. So I did buy 1 figure, but it's not a World War II figure, so yeah, I'm gonna have to, maybe I'll go get some for my B-17 bomber. Well, I've managed to pull the rear gunner on my B-17, and just looking at the hands, this would be good for the rear gun of this. There's a little poster putty on its butt already. Let's see if we can get this character here around the gun. Ooh, maybe not. Well, squeeze the head first. I gotta get under the machine gun. Maybe point that downwards. Come in from the side. Maybe get some tweezers, because this is proving too difficult. Almost. This is really fidgety. For some reason, I didn't see any options for painted Russian pilots and figures to go into this actual airplane. That's why I didn't buy any. Well, it's kind of just floating up. It's almost like it wants to stand. If it's a standing figure, I have one, but I figured since as a seat, it would make sense to have a seated figure. I'm almost past that machine gun. Alright, finally got that figure in there. Very nice. So I'm just going to take this pilot figure, swap the head from a World War II pilot, and I guess that's good enough for today. I'll have to order some more World War II figures the next time I get some. We'll put an order in. And let's get that butt on, poster put it down. Alright, it's an angry pilot today. And let's see if these things fit under the cockpit, which they do. Very cool. Alright, so yeah, angry cockpit dude. Kind of a spaced out machine gunner back there, looking nice. Alrighty, let me see what else there is. So in this little baggie, we got the covers for flight mode and landing gear. So I guess we may as well show off the flight mode. So you can see the tires kind of sticking out of there already. Focus, of course, is out. Yeah, you got some ridges in the tires. Seems well painted. 2 magnets. And this one must go here. That one must go there. Okay, so let's see. I got this flight stand here, but I attached my own steel plate for extra weight. And this one, this will definitely work here, I think. Alright. Let's let this go for a spin. This one actually fits better backwards on this stand. It is on backwards, but it's more horizontal this way because the curvature of the bottom and stuff. So there it is with its brethren there, a realistic brethren. And I think it looks pretty awesome. It's very cool to have these little characters in there. Right? Very neat. That dude's face is funny. Okay. Yeah, alright. I guess we can put it in landing gear mode now. Alright, let's just put that to the side. So simple enough, being magnetized. Should be able to just get that off. Oh, but those are strong magnets. You gotta get like a fingernail under there. Or, wait, man, no, that's such a flush fit. It's very well done. Well, luckily I use toothpicks in my reviews. Okay. Alright, so the landing gear, it's quite interesting. You got this like cross brace system. Whoop. You got 2 magnets there and the cross braces and the shocks, and then you look at the treads and it does roll. Okay. Very well done. It looks like there's a paint wash of black over it as well, and the little hatches are open. Simple enough. Simple enough. It's interesting that this one doesn't have the magnetic bomb swap, but I guess maybe it's so limited with the armaments that that glue still hasn't fully dried. So there's quite a bit of a rake to its stance, and I guess that's probably the way it was really in the real world. It must have been hard to land these things. So that's what makes me makes me think these white lines might have something to do with its sighting or something, landing, or well, maybe just shooting. I don't know. All right, so I think that looks pretty neat. We can do a little comparison here. I do have a BF-109, which would have destroyed this thing in the war, apparently. Saying also, this is Eric Hartman's plane, which he was the top fighter ace of all time. So look how small this is in comparison. Yeah, boy, I'm just gonna have to put him. Alright, so hopefully you can see now. That BF-109 fighter is really small. Yeah, interesting. Well, they call this a flying tank. It looks like one compared to something this small, even in deformed shape. This thing is awesome. The paint job is so cool. I didn't even mention it when I reviewed it, but the camo pattern is green and gray. There's two different camo swatches there. It's very neat. Let's see, a modern fighter though. We have the Su-27. No, it's not. It's not. This is a Russian. I mean, the Chinese variation. So I think it's a J-11B, if I recall. I kind of forget these things. This thing's just loaded with missiles, which we'll deal with another time. So that, and then actually one more comparison, since I already pulled the figures out of the B-17. This is the big Bertha. Look at that thing. So let's get the modern one out of here. It's out of place, out of time. So yeah, this thing would have been strafing this bomber. Maybe this thing, I don't know. Yeah, I guess these two would have flown together, but anyways, yeah, that bomber is huge. But it holds 10 people. There's 10 characters inside of there. So usually, if I didn't pull some out. As usual, another fantastic model. And you gotta remember, this isn't mass produced. This was handmade, 3D printed. Just be mindful, if you do order this, it would make sense if you ordered two of the World War II figures. One that's in a gunning position and one in a pilot position. Learn from my mistakes. I'll have to order some the next time I order a model from this person. Thanks for watching. We'll see ya.